my loves, today we're making albaloo polo or sour cherry rice with meatballs. To get started, you want to mix 1 pound of ground beef with 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of turmeric powder, half a teaspoon of black ground pepper, and 1 large grated onion. Let it rest for 6 to 8 hours in the fridge so that the meat absorbs all the goodness and flavor. Later, you want to start creating your meatballs. Add 4 to 5 tablespoons of olive oil or any vegetable oil into a large saucepan and start shaping your meatballs. It's traditional to make very small meatballs for this dish, but feel free to make them larger. Another advantage of making very small meatballs is that it will cook throughout evenly and in a uniform fashion. Keep in mind that you want to squeeze out the onion juice after you've grated your large onion. Sour cherry rice with meatballs has it all. Sweet, sour, salt, carbohydrates, fat, protein, soft, crispy, and bright uplifting colors, all packed into one surprisingly humble dish. It is a delicious and flavorful meal and a true gastronomic experience that satisfies all the different taste buds in your palate. Albaloo in Persian language means sour cherries, which with their distinctive red color skins and intense flavor are highly prized in Persian culture and cuisine. When in season, fresh sour cherries are served on platters at gatherings. They are also cooked and integrated into dishes in a variety of ways. The juice is sweetened and turned into a syrup before being generously drizzled over some Persian desserts. The syrup is also mixed with rose water and poured over ice as a thirst-quenching syrup on hot summer days. The love of cherries does not stop here. The list goes on and on. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to our channel and hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Once all the meatballs have been formed, sauté them until they're fully cooked and crispy on medium heat, which typically takes about 15 to 25 minutes. To cook your rice, bring 8 cups of water and 2 tablespoons of salt to a boil on medium-high heat. Add 4 cups of rinsed basmati rice and boil on high heat, uncovered, for about 5 to 12 minutes until the rice has become semi-cooked or par-cooked. Additionally, keep in mind that you must soak your basmati rice in water for about 4 to 6 hours prior to cooking. As you can see, my rice grains are now par-cooked, which means that the exterior is soft, but the interior is quite firm. Later, you want to drain the rice in a colander, rinse, and set aside. To make your liquid saffron, mix 1/4 of a tablespoon saffron threads with 1/4 of a cup hot water. You let it soak for about 15 minutes and you'll have this amazing liquid saffron with a vibrant color. For this recipe, you need 1 to 1.5 cups of sour cherries, which you need to remove the seeds either manually or using a machine. Once you've removed the cherry pits, leave them in room temperature overnight and they'll produce juice, which is necessary to make your sour cherry syrup. Place the sour cherries in a saucepan. Add 1/4 of a cup sugar or monk fruit sweetener and cook on medium-low heat uncovered for 3 to 5 minutes. Juices from the cherries combined with sugar will create a luscious cherry syrup that will get used with the meatballs. Strain the cherries and cook the sauce on medium-low heat for an additional 10 minutes until it gets slightly thickened. Add 1/4 of a cup to half a cup of the reserved cherry syrup to your meatballs in addition to 1 to 2 tablespoons of liquid saffron. Swirl around for the syrup to be better mixed and coating the meatballs. Ideally, this step would happen right before serving. And now it's time to mix all the ingredients and steam our rice. Add 2 to 3 tablespoons of ghee into a large pot on medium-low heat. In a small bowl, mix 1 to 2 cups of the lightly cooked rice with 2 to 3 tablespoons of liquid saffron. Gently mix and spread evenly in the bottom of the pot. This will be the crispy rice referred to as tahdig, which means the bottom of the dish. Repeat the same process, but this time instead of mixing rice with liquid saffron, you want to mix 1 to 2 cups of lightly cooked rice with 1/4 of a cup to half a cup of your cherry syrup. Begin layering your ingredients in the large pot, which include saffron rice, white basmati rice, sour cherry syrup rice, meatballs, and cherries. Repeat this process until all of the rice, meatballs, and cherries have been layered in the pot. Next, cover the pot and allow the rice to steam over a medium-low to medium heat for about 30 to 35 minutes. Please note that this sour cherry rice dish can be served with stewed beef, stewed lamb, or roasted chicken. After your rice has been steamed, remove it from the pan and place on a serving platter. Arrange the meatballs on the serving platter and you may garnish it with pistachios, almonds, and or rose petals. I highly recommend serving this dish with a side of yogurt and a platter of fresh herbs. Tart cherries, which are a sour version of the cherries we commonly eat, have been advertised to do many things such as improve sleep, improve endurance, reduce systolic blood pressure, decrease uric acid, decrease muscle soreness, and reduce inflammation. To make delicious high-quality meatballs, you need high-quality meat. No amount of kitchen sorcery can substitute for what a fresher, better package of chunk beef can bring. If you can, use meat freshly ground by a local butcher. As you know, meat from different animals has different qualities. Pork brings dimensions not totally alike those of beef. Lamb carries a rich mineral tang. I would recommend blending 2 or 3 kinds of ground meat when making meatballs. I find a pork and beef blend to be better than beef alone, and that a little lamb can create a whole lot of depth. Though the many cultures of the world that make meatballs consider them from various angles, many meatballs are all about intensity and bold flavors. If you want, you may dial up those flavors by adding seasonings liberally. Be generous with the salt and herbs, and if you want, you may embrace the goodness of garlic. Another tip for making the perfect meatballs would be keeping the meat in a cold temperature before shaping, which prevents the fat from the meat to not melt prematurely. Fat equals flavor as well as juiciness, so keeping the meat cold before mixing and shaping ensures that the fat is dispersed evenly for ultimate tenderness and taste. You know why meatballs sometimes resemble bouncy balls? It's likely because they have been overworked. Using a large bowl, I like to gently combine the meat mixture with my hands just until it comes together. This beautiful rice dish can easily be made vegetarian or vegan by simply not using real beef. As always, the details about this recipe is listed in the description box down below. Fresh sour cherries are difficult to get your hands on here in the US. It may be because they have a very short growing season or simply because they have fallen out of fashion in this part of the world. I personally went to a farm and picked these cherries, which took a lot of effort, but I really appreciate sour cherries because they're super yummy. So you may have to do that or order frozen sour cherries online. If you decide to use frozen sour cherries, let them defrost first and then you can go ahead and remove the pits. As you can see, my sour cherry rice with meatballs is ready to be served. I have garnished it using slivered pistachios only. I hope you enjoyed learning about this exquisite Persian dish recipe. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments section down below. I'm always open to suggestions and recommendations. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel, smash the like button, hit the notification bell, and share this video with your friends and family members. I love you so much and we'll talk to you in my next video. Take care!